What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for a huddle watch along with the recruit. On today's episode, for you guys that like quarterback play, this is your episode. You have pulled up to the right video. 2026 four-star quarterback Noah Grubbs is one of the hottest quarterbacks, not just in his class, but in any class, coming off a fantastic sophomore year. And he is one of the busiest recruits out there when it comes to his visits. Just had a 7-on-7 tournament this weekend with a team that when he showed up and rocked up with them during their first weekend, they got the dub in that tournament. So I want to dive into that and a little bit more, but you don't want to hear me tell it. You want to hear it from the superstar himself. So without further ado, four-star quarterback in the 2026 class, Noah Grubbs. How's it going, bro?
Good. How about yourself? Thank you for the introduction.
Oh, no problem, man. You earned all them credentials, man. We seen the film, and we're gonna get into the film a little bit later. But before we get into that, I want to time travel a bit, take it back to your sophomore year, coming off an explosive year on the field. How was that for you and the boys?
Yeah, it was definitely a record-breaking year for sure. I mean, me, Carson, Caden, Logan, we've had the chemistry ever since my freshman year. We've just been grinding day in, day out through the summer, through the springs, and just gaining that chemistry over and over all throughout every week, every day, getting bigger in the weight room and things like that, where it just showed up on the field. So,
and it showed up in a big way. 2023 Central Florida Offensive Player of the Year. How was it earning that honor after all that hard work you put in the offseason?
Yeah, it definitely shows to the little kids that hard work does pay off, and the training and the lifting, like everything like that, it will eventually pay off. And just to put your head down, just keep grinding for what you want, and don't worry about what anyone else says, what you can, what you can't do. Just know what you can do, and just put your head down and do what you want.
And to some of that hard work, someone I wanted to bring up who's integral in your process is your quarterback coach outside of high school. Balin Trujillo is one of the best quarterback coaches in the nation, not just in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Full stop. He is one of the best out there. How is it working with him, and how much have you progressed working with him over the years?
Yeah, he's definitely a nationwide coach. So, funny story is my first time training with him, I went to a camp with him, and then my first time training with him, like outside that camp, I was also playing baseball at the time. So he told me, like,
Really?
once I drop the baseball, like I'll be a nation known name for football if I like start taking it serious. And I did that, and just that happened as well. So, but not only Balin on the field and like what he could do training, stuff like that, he's also a very good guy off the field, and he knows how to get the quarterbacks the right way, and he knows the things that like the steps it takes, and he has the connections and everything like in that step forward, he has all those things.
And he's been there, done that in that neck of the woods. You know what I mean? He can give you real relatable advice,
Yes,
even
sir.
if it's small. Hey, this camp wants me to come here, but it's conflicting with this. You know, what would you have done in this situation? He can, outside of just being a coach, as a quarterback, he can just give you an answer. Okay,
Yeah.
I would have done this or this. I would have said it this way. How important is it having someone in your corner like that you can rely on those dog days, on those, all right, I got 8 visits to schedule, there's 7 days, and you know you got someone that's been through this process that you could talk to about it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the past month, I've been blowing up his phone about like where should I go this spring, and he just keeps telling me like whoever's showing the most interest, whoever you're getting on the phone with, and you just feel like that vibe with, and not only just spring schedules, but I'll call him just about daily life stuff and just get on the phone with him, just ask him how his day been. And to have a coach like that in your corner that will be by your side and not only will be there for football, but will be like there for you personally, it's definitely a step ahead of everybody else. And Balin is definitely the guy to have in your corner for sure.
It's so huge having somebody that you trust like that you know, not only is he going to get my fundamentals right, you know, he going to get me right on the
Yes,
field,
sir.
but if I pick up the phone for advice, you know, he's going to shoot straight with you too. So, you know, when he tell you
Yes, sir.
something, even if it's harsh, hey, this, you know, it's coming out of love. But I like that you said too, I can just blow him up on regular stuff too.
Yeah.
Like
He's also a big Miami.
if I just need to talk, you know what I mean? I can just talk with him. So I want to get into a few of these schools that you guys have seen together as well. One of the first ones is you guys were out at a Michigan game last year. How was that atmosphere, getting to see a national championship program in person, how it runs, how it functions?
Yeah, so I was at Michigan for the barbecue before I went to the game. It was like a couple months before. And then I ended up going to the Ohio State game versus Michigan. So obviously a
Oof.
big nationwide game that everybody knows about, everybody's watching, and definitely blessed to be able to watch it in person and be there in the recruit section and to be able to have the relationship that I do with Coach Campbell, Coach Moore. I know there's a big coaching staff change there, but I still feel like my relationship with those coaches definitely did not change, and it's still very, very big and good relationship there. But the experience it was there, it was crazy from their student section, just yelling the whole time. There's not a silent play in that place. There's like everybody's yelling, and it's definitely a university that people want to come watch and people want to be a part of. So.
And as a quarterback, they had one of the best field generals in college football last year in JJ McCarthy. What was it like from your standpoint getting to see him do his thing on the field?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's what I look for into colleges as well as other things as well. Just how you develop your quarterback and how you coach them. So that's why I'm gonna be going there for spring and to see how they coach their quarterbacks, how they develop them even more. So I already have a idea of how it is. Obviously, with JJ McCarthy, he's a great guy, great quarterback, and to see how they developed him throughout his Michigan years is definitely a point in my head.
Just easily one of the most, like I said, field generals. He always seemed like he didn't always
Yes, sir.
need the numbers, but he knew how to get that Michigan team to where it needed to get to when it was all said
Yes,
and
sir.
done, when it was all zeros on the clock. You knew JJ knew how to get that team a W, and I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's just so
Even
important.
without
So I like
Harbaugh.
that when
So,
you go there, Ex which is crazy. That lets you
yeah,
know you gotta rally around your leaders when things like that happen, right? And you
yeah,
know JJ was in that locker room like, "Don't worry, like, I got this. Don't worry,
yeah.
coach. Everything
Especially,
that you've instilled in me over the past 4
yeah.
years, I'll just regurgitate."
Teams tend to be more better when it's a player-led team instead of coaching-led. So, like players will feed
100%.
off of that. Players will feed off of that for sure, and it'll be better. So,
And another guy that's known as a player's coach, taking it to another team in the same area, another blue blood when it comes to college football is Notre Dame. And you had a chance to see a game there last year. But before we get into that atmosphere, I want to talk about that staff because they're one of the calmest staffs I think I have ever seen. What have been your interactions with Coach Marcus Freeman?
yeah. So Marcus Freeman, I've been on the phone with him. I've been on the phone. Like I called Coach G. Obviously, they can't call me. I'm still class 26, so I've called Coach G, which is the QB's coach, and then I get on the phone with Coach Freeman. And Coach Freeman, he's a great guy. He's a very genuine guy. You can't like. It's not just football this, football that. It's like you just like what'd you do today, like daily personal things, and to be able to have a coach that you could just talk personal life with, it's definitely a step ahead. So you could definitely feel that relationship click for sure with me and Coach Freeman.
Is he as cool as he seems on the sidelines?
Yeah, definitely. I remember one of the things he said that stuck with me is like when I went and talked to him before the game versus Ohio State, he was like, I'm great you made it up here to the game today. He was like, but let's keep you up here. So it just like
I love that.
kind of hit me, and it's always stuck with me ever since then.
He just seems like he's just when you watch him on the sideline, he's never too up, he's never too down, the moment's never too big for him. He looks like that coach where if you start getting stressed, you can look over at him and go, "Oh yeah, we still got it together," because
Yeah.
he always has it together.
Yes, sir.
And then before I get into some announcements that's happening, something really cool happening for you this year in this offseason, there's a staff that I have to touch on. One of the hometown schools, the Miami Hurricanes.
Yes,
What's it
sir.
been like going on campus, seeing that campus, and what's your relationships with that staff down there?
Yeah, Coach Dawson and Coach Cristobal are two great guys, two great people. And so actually when I was down there for the Miami 7-on-7 tournament for a battle, I wasn't planning on going there because of the way our games were scheduled and stuff, and they had I think they had a junior day that day, and it was just completely off.
Yes.
And so I was like, all right, I don't think I'll be able to make it, but like I hope to see you guys soon. Like, I would be back there in spring and stuff like that. And so then the games turned out coming out faster, so I just texted him. I was like, is there any way like you stop by? I was like, yeah, just stop by whenever you want. So to
Oh,
have
that's
like
dope.
somebody that's just like just stop by whenever you want when it's the University of Miami, and I stop by there and I go to Coach Dawson. I meet his family, meet his wife, meet his kids. We're sitting in the room together, just talking, just having fun, and just feel the relationship there. Definitely, it's definitely a good relationship. And then right after that, like everyone's waiting in line to have like a meeting with Coach Cristobal. I get in there like the first 30 minutes, get in there, have a meeting with Coach Cristobal, and just talking with him. And it's definitely great to have coaches like that from the University of Miami, which is a big university in the state of Florida for sure. To have those people to be like good relationship with, and yeah.
So watching Coach Dawson's offense and watching your skill set, I see why the offer was handed out. Quick release, pushing the ball down the field. How much of seeing his offense that excited you after you got that offer going? I like I think I know I fit this thing.
Yeah, definitely. So we were talking about this the other day. Like Florida State runs their quarterback like a lot. They're the two in-state teams. Florida State runs their quarterback a lot. Doesn't fit me as right. Miami ran the quarterback maybe once or twice. Wasn't even called runs. And
No.
I was there at the Texas A&M game. So definitely a good game to be a part of. And I think that was their best game offensively. And so that definitely put Miami on the spot offensively, and having to see Coach Dawson, the way he gets these quarterbacks going, the way he develops them. And I'm going down there spring on March 30th to see how he coaches them. And so, yeah.
Do you remember the day you got the offer from Miami?
I don't remember the exact day, but I remember how it happened.
How did it happen?
So he it went through Balin, of course. Balin is my connection guy, and obviously they can't call me first. And he visited. It was during a contact period, so he visited a bunch of 26 quarterbacks in the Orlando area, which there's a good bit of us in the Orlando area that are top quarterbacks,
Yes,
even in
there
the Florida
is.
area, all the way down from Miami to up here. So he visited all of us, and then he ended up calling me that night. He actually offered me when he was with me, and then he was like, "Don't
Oh,
post." He was like, "Don't post it yet." And then he ended up calling me that night, and he was like, "All right, you can post it now." I think it was at 7:30 that night. He called me. He was like, "You can post it now." So
do you remember your first ever offer, like that very, very first one that came
hmm
in? What was tell us what that feeling was like.
yeah, so it was University of Alabama Birmingham. So this is when Coach Henshaw that's at UCF now was at Alabama Birmingham.
Oh, nice.
And so me and Coach Henshaw always had a great relationship because his brother Tyson Henshaw, who also played at UCF, is my quarterbacks coach, and he's been my quarterbacks coach through Pop Warner, and now he's here at Lake Mary. So I've always been close with Coach Henshaw. When he got to UCF, we were on the phone. He was like, "Get ready to be a knight," and he didn't offer me then, but then he offered me, and then so having that first offer, I think it was eighth grade summer, maybe, I don't know, but it definitely started things out, and from there on out, I've just been grinding with my head down, and just trying to do what I love.
Is it still that same feeling every time a new one comes through?
Yes sir, definitely pumped about every single opportunity that I get.
I love that too, y'all. You not losing that excitement, no matter
Yes
who it
sir.
is, no matter how big or small it's, "Oh, hey, they want me?" Like, I love that excitement. And for those of y'all that have not seen Noah's film, you are in for a treat. So, one thing that's gonna be really cool happening to you this year, you're gonna get to compete in the Elite 11, which growing up as a quarterback is something all you guys watch and strive to compete and to get your name called as the Elite 11 MVP. How excited are you for that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be able to compete in the Elite 11 this year, and I'm hoping to go out there and just do my thing and just do the things that I'm taught to do. That with all the hard work, I'm just hoping that it'll pay off, and I'll be one of the MVPs and get the finalists. And so yeah.
Do you feel like you've got a little bit of a leg up when it comes to things like Elite 11? Because I see, Balin put you guys through that exact pro day script quite a bit.
hmm
You feel like you're going to be a bit more comfortable when you go out there?
Yeah, I try going out there with a kind of like a chip on my shoulders, just like thinking like I'm that guy now. Let's go prove it today. So just having that like self confidence, not like cocky confidence, but just to have that like that self confidence to be humble and just be you today. Just go out there and do your thing. So
One of the most impressive things about your film, Noah, is your ability to throw off platform, fading backwards a lot of times. Now, obviously, when you get
yeah.
to set your feet, absolute rocket down the middle. But that ability to be accurate off platform too, who do you attribute that to?
Say that question again, please.
The ability to be accurate off platform, who do you attribute that skill set to? Where did that come from?
So with Balin, we definitely so recently we've been working on off platform, on the run and pocket movement things because I think on the run throws is what I struggle with most. Pocket, that's just my natural. I've worked on it and it's there. It's in my pocket. So I think on the run throws and backpedaling and stuff like that, it's like I think that's my biggest problem in my craft right now. So I think that whenever I go to training, I text Balaam like 30 minutes before. I was like, we need to work on the run today, get some video and get it out there to show people that are questioning my on the run throws that are like not pulling the offer
I
because
love
of
that.
that. So I tell Balin to do certain things sometimes so I could get people's questions out of their mind about what I can't do, but I'm also there just to help myself improve on my game and my craft.
And then the poise inside of the pocket, your ability to wait till the very last second, give your receiver the ability to get open, knowing that you've got guys barreling down on you. Have you always just been calm, cool, and collected in the pocket like this?
Yes, sir. Those are the three words I say before every play. Just stay there and just calm, cool, and collective, and it turns out working.
When do you feel like as a quarterback, you were able to not just say that to yourself, but believe it? When the game started slowing down a little bit and you could be a little
Yeah.
bit more calm under duress in the
I feel
pocket?
like I feel like starting my sophomore season definitely was way slower, like reads everything than my freshman season. I just got kicked into the game freshman season, the third game at halftime, and everything's like, oh wow, I'm playing varsity right now, like I'm a freshman. But sophomore season, like I was practicing every rep, and like so it's everything's more slow, and to be able to read the game as slow as possible as a quarterback is definitely a big advantage.
What do you think it was that helped you, that allowed the game to slow down like that for you?
Once again, just working with Balin, the things that he does not only on the field with the footwork and stuff, he gets me through coverages on zooms, and we talk about other things like defensive fronts and the safeties leverage, the corners leverage, how they tell coverages. And I was actually just in one of his zooms today at 4:30. So to like have a trainer, like I said, that does more than just the throwing of a football from coverages to personal life to stuff like that, it definitely like helps to have somebody like him in my corner.
One of the things I love about your film, your offensive coordinator, he knows you have a rocket and he pushes the ball down the field. But for you, do you have a favorite route that you like to throw? Like when you hear a certain concept being called and you go, "Ooh, what is that for you?"
Yeah, I like to throw posts. I like to throw goes and posts.
Post used to be my favorite to run. Why is it? Why is it? Is it just the ability to flex that arm strength?
Yeah, I feel like I don't even know, to be honest. Just me and post have a good connection. So I mean, having with me posting my receivers and those three things get along.
Another thing too, you spread the ball around quite a bit in this offense. It seems like everybody gets a chance to touch it. How important is that for you as a leader of the team, keeping everybody involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not meant to be to just spread around to every guy. It's just my wide receivers last year were just that person, and to have three people like them last year, it was great. Like I could spread it around like they were all the same people, and to have, like I said, to have those three people, it was definitely an advantage.
Go ahead and give them guys a shout out because it just seemed like it was pick your poison last year for this offense.
Yeah, one Carson Henshaw, he's going to UCF for football, and Caden Harshberger, he's going to UNC. He's committed for lacrosse, and I think he's looking to walk on for football. And then Logan Cook, he's committed to UNC Pembroke for football. And then Carson Freeman was the other receiver that actually just scored right there. And he's coming back next year for his senior year. And he wasn't healthy all throughout the year. He had a couple hip flexor, hamstring injuries. But I think he was our best route runner the whole year. But now
Really?
hopefully being healthy this year, it will definitely show.
For you as a quarterback and a vocal leader on your team, when you do have guys that are seniors or guys that are juniors, do you feel like it's easier for you to lead vocally or by example? What kind of leader is Noah Grubbs in the locker room?
I lead the way that the way in the moment that I'm supposed to lead. So on the
I love
field,
that.
like on the field, if people heads are down, like I'll be vocal. I'll get them. I'll pick them up, and then the next drive, I'm gonna go out and score and lead by example. So it just in this situation, the way that I have to lead, I'll lead to get the team to the victory. So
The ball placement, Noah, is something that is absolutely incredible from you. You give your receivers a chance no matter what the route is, whether it's that post, these 10-yard ends, even on go balls. The ball placement always allows your guy to make a play after he catches the football. For young quarterbacks out there, speak to how important that is to always make sure your guy has an ability to make a move after the catch.
yeah, it doesn't matter how hard the ball is, how soft it is. It's really the completion rate. You just need the ball. You need the ball to get there and get completed. So if the ball's there, completed, and it's in the right spot, they will most likely have the chance to run. So if the DB's inside and you throw them outside shoulder, like they'll spin out. They can tell if you have the receivers, they could tell what you're trying to say by getting them an outside shoulder, and they'll have the chance to run after the catch. So to be able to have the placement of the ball and the completion percent, it's definitely big.
It's you become your receivers just absolutely love you because of it because they also know you're going to protect them. Like you said, they know if a ball is going inside, oh, he's trying to tell me something here. He's clearly trying to tell me to get down, make this catch, or he's clearly trying to tell me to spin to my outside, which is why he's throwing it to my outside shoulder. That trust too that you have in your receivers on a ball like this is nothing but trust and timing. How much of that is just drilling that you guys do with each other? Because the timing from the route here, from your
Yeah,
release
this
here,
game was
is
crazy. So
absolutely perfect.
our running back like almost broke his collarbone the first drive of the game. So I was thinking just like, damn, like
Whew.
this could be it. And then I actually threw it. I actually ended up throwing a couple of picks in that game. So the seniors were all like heads down. I was like, guys, trust me, like seniors, I'm not letting you guys down this way. Like this is not the way that should have beat more than it showed. But yeah, I mean, I told the seniors that this is not the way it was gonna end, and we just fought back and we just kept going. And our defense came up with a big stop with a tip from the D line, and then they ended up picking it, and then we ended up scoring. And this game, I ended with like 530 something yards.
So in that moment, bro, when y'all are down, obviously there is that moment where you go to your guys and have to tell them, look, it ain't over till it's over. But from a quarterback's perspective, when you are in those moments, how much of that is just relying on, look, I know I put in the work before I got here. Even though I'm down by a few touchdowns, if I just continue doing what I do, we gonna get out of this. How much do you feel like that's that trust that your team has in you, bro? That when you say that, they're not rolling their eyes. They're not thinking, oh, Noah talking again. There's clearly that trust where they went, all right, well, then let's put the helmet back on. If Noah say we could do this, we could do this.
Yeah, so it's not you can't just do it just in a game that you're randomly losing. Like it has to be throughout summer practice, throughout spring practices, so they can gain your trust. They can gain the familiarity with you talking and being a leader, and so doing that all throughout spring practice and even in the weight room on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday in fifth period, we lift every day of class, and so even in the weight room, being a leader and doing that spring, summer, just day in, day out, just being a leader, then they'll gain your trust and they'll gain the things that you're saying, and it'll get to them, and they'll start believing in you, and they'll ride your back, and you guys will become a great team with a player-led team.
This quick release you have, and this it's real real snappy, real quick. When you said you play baseball, it made me think, huh, I wonder if that's why you're able to manipulate different arm angles and have a quick release like this. How much did baseball help you develop the arm talent that you have nowadays?
It didn't. It helped a good bit. Not as much, but so obviously there are two different throwing motions. One, you're pointing, you bring your thumb down, you twist it down. The other one is just a straight throw. And so, like, obviously, if I'm practicing baseball and football on the same day, like, I'm gonna have to get back into football so I get back
Yeah.
used to it. So I've actually had those days a couple times, and I feel like baseball, the placement, because I was a pitcher too, so the placement definitely helped me.
Ooh.
So being
All
able to
right.
place outside, inside, high, low. So
Noah Grubbs, the pitcher. What does the arsenal look like when you're on the mound?
when I was 15, I think was like my last time playing baseball. I threw like 85. I had fastball, changeup, curveball, knuckleball.
What?
Yeah,
You threw 85 and then threw a knuckleball behind that?
yeah. The knuckleball, everybody was surprised about. That was one of
That's
my.
not fair
The umpires would like look at me a certain way, like when I would throw it.
because they're not used to seeing that. So
Yeah.
I used to umpire select ball down here. And anytime you see a kid that would have a nice knuckleball, it would always catch you off guard. Like, hey, how old is your dad? You've got an old soul somewhere in your camp that taught you this knuckleball. Do you still miss being on the mound sometimes?
um, Not really, cause like I was thinking of playing baseball this year, but I'm thinking like I might be a pitcher only, and I don't want to hurt my arm doing something I like just there for just to have fun. I'd rather like hurt my arm playing football. Obviously,
Let's
hopefully it
go.
doesn't happen, but I'd rather hurt something doing something that I love instead of just there just to have fun. Yeah.
For you as a quarterback, Noah, do you have guys you like to study from? Not just in the pros, maybe in college as well, guys that you like to take little tidbits from to help build your game?
Yeah, so looking at the NFL, I like to take some tips from like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and QBs that they could throw the ball, they could do their thing, but when you need to get them to pick up yards and pick up a 5 yard first down and just slide right after, like things like that, I look behind and I look after for QBs in the NFL and above me.
For you as a quarterback, if you could, so you started freshman year, 3 games in, straight off the bench. If you could look back at freshman Noah Grubbs and look at going into my junior season now, what would you say is the biggest difference in both of those players?
Just how slow the game is now. It's like when I was in, I was so like panicky and just didn't know. I just wasn't as educated as I am now about the game and about my reads, and so just how slow it is now with working with Balin and working with Tyson Henshaw. Just it definitely helped. So now like all the coverages and defensive fronts and the leverages of everybody is just slow. So it helps a lot.
So as a quarterback and as a recruit, there's a question I love to ask, but I like to ask you your quarterbacks because everyone works, everyone has to put in work, but it seems like y'all are the position group that's up early, right? You're throwing before practice, you're throwing after practice. The work, and we all see you on the timeline. We all know how much y'all work. Balin put y'all through it. What is it like on those rough days? On the days when you wake up, arm still a little sore, body tired, but you gotta push through it. What is it that keeps you going on the rough days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here to do it for my family and for myself and for my brothers around me, and so for the people that have been around me in the community and all throughout Pop Warner, I've had people around me that uplift me, and so you just have to ask yourself, like why are you here? Like are you gonna push through it? Like do you really want it? And if you're a guy that really wants it, keep working, put your head down and keep working. I mean, there's gonna be those days your arm's sore, but you just have to ice it and just get after it the next day. So
That mature mentality towards the work and towards your recruiting, towards learning, where's that come from, bro? Because that's a very meta way of looking at things. Like the work just needs to be done, but it's very mature for someone your age. Where does that come from?
yeah, so it's definitely great to have like my dad, he's been in the army. He was in the army for 30 years. He retired as a US in the US Army as a colonel. So to have him,
Nice.
and he knows the things that need to be done and how they need to be done, when they need to be done, and to have like somebody like my dad and my mom and my brothers. I'm the youngest of four brothers. So obviously
Ooh.
I've been pushed, I've been bullied around the house. I'm always the little kid, so to finally to be able to just put my head down and just work, and it definitely helps.
What's that like though, being the youngest, going through all that, and then being able to share accomplishments with them, being able to come home and say 2023 Central Florida Offensive Player of the Year, Michigan offer, when that Notre Dame offer comes in, how cool is it to be able to share those things with not just your siblings but your parents as well?
Yeah, but it's definitely a blessing, a true blessing that young people dream of, and I'm living the dream right now. So can't complain. But I mean, my brothers still look at me as I'm the little kid. So I mean, I can't really do anything. They're three older brothers, and it's definitely great to be able to share the blessings that I get with them, and there's a bunch of laughter, and definitely cool to have brothers that are older than me that have brought me from nothing to something. So
Even though they probably roast you constantly, I know they're proud of you. They just can't say
yeah,
it yet. Now, when y'all are 30, they can say it. Right now, they can't say it. But I know I speak for them when I say that they are definitely proud of you. Bro, thank you so much for coming on. Let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, because we are all going to want to keep up with this season. And I'm going to link those in the description, and his huddle, so that you can watch his huddle throughout the year. Because a lot of times they'll update it game to game. So if you're like, oh, Noah playing so and so this week, those highlights will be on his huddle after. So let them know where they can follow you and keep up with you.
yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Noah Grubbs 13, all lowercase, NoahGrubbs 13. And then on Twitter, it's Noah Grubbs QB, capital and capital G, and then capital Q and capital B or capital S. So those are the two main handles that I use on social media.
So I will link both of those down in the description. So all you got to do is click them and you go straight to follow him. Again, thank you so much for coming on after your junior year, when you light it up again and get that Central Player Offensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row. We're going to have you back on so we can watch that tape and we can talk about the progression in your game. Do you have a goal as far as maybe yards or touchdowns this year?
I'm looking to get in the 3,000, high 3,000 yards, maybe 4,000. I'm trying to beat the record in touchdowns. So the record in 56, I believe, and I have
Let's
49.
go.
I have 49 last year, and we lost in the second round. So I have a feeling if we ended up making it to the states, I had a chance to beat it. So this year, it could be the year.
Let's go. All positiveness into the atmosphere. You are going to break that record this year. You coming back on here with 58 TDs next year, and we're going to talk about how you broke that record.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming on. Y'all go follow Noah right now. Hit that like button and click his links right now. Like, share, and subscribe. We out.